very easy for me to accept this invitation to come out and speak to a group of entrepreneurs, prospective entrepreneurs, business developers, and individuals who help support, drive the engine, the small business community. As far as I'm concerned, your success and my success are linked. The more successful you are, the easier my path is, and vice versa. None of us in this room is as strong as all of us in this room. So at the end of the day, we have to understand the importance of what we can do by coming together as a community, as a village. You know, it says it takes a village to raise a child, but the strength of the children depends upon the strength of the village. The strength of the village depends upon the strength of each individual member of the village. So it is all of our responsibility to make sure that we're doing the right things to make sure we can empower ourselves, not for the sake of only ourselves, but as Madam C.J. Walker said, that I want to be a millionaire, not to earn $1 million, but the more money I make, the more people I can help, and the more people I can employ, and the stronger my community becomes because of it. So I thank everyone in this room. I want to give everybody a round of applause for coming out here today. I was in the green room one day, and I saw at the Time Warner building, about to go on set, and I saw an elderly gentleman walk in, and couldn't even see that well. And we sat down and we talked for maybe 2 to 3 minutes, and he asked me, said, "Young man, what are you all about?" I said, "Well, I'm a financial planner, and I do a little bit of speaking every once in a while." And I started to tell him, and sometimes we talk about ourselves before we understand who's in front of us a little bit too much. And he was listening. He said, "Wow, that's really great." And so they called me out on set, so I did my thing, and I came back and I said, "Sir, I didn't catch your name." He said, "Well, my name is Ted Sorensen." And I said, "Wait a minute," because I just finished reading Renegade, and I followed the Barack Obama campaign. I remember in Iowa, and they had Ted Sorensen come out, so I learned a little bit about him. I said, "Ted," I said, "No way." I felt like I was sitting in front of like Michael Jackson. I didn't know what to say. I literally was speechless. And it was all the questions I could have asked him. And this guy wrote profiles and ghostwritten profiles in courage, and he wrote all the speeches for JFK. And I said, "Man," so I just said, "Let me just pick your brain for a second." I said, "Sir, I have to tell you, I'm a little bit nervous now because, I just have so many questions that I would like to ask you," and I was very candid, "but I just don't know what to ask. I don't even know where to start." And so he just started to talk, and so we talked for about a half hour about JFK, and we talked about Barack Obama, and we talked about a lot of things, and he gave me something. He said, "You know what, I know you do a lot of speeches, so I'm going to give you something I gave to JFK. And now, tonight, I'm going to give it to you." It was a poem, and he said this. He said, "Bullfight critics, row on row, fill the enormous plaza full, but only one man is in the know, and he is the one who is fighting the bull." So I would like to say that one line by line together, and I want to really explain what it means. So if we can just say it together and repeat after me. Bullfight critics, row on row, fill the enormous plaza full, but only one man is in the know, and he is the one who is fighting the bull. We got any bullfighters in here tonight? We got to be the ones in there fighting. There's all these other individuals out here talking and critiquing and analyzing and all these other things, just trying to say things about what other people are doing. But the only one who knows is the one who's down there and the one doing the battle. A good friend of mine said that, the haters out there, those who are too timid to follow their own dreams, will spend a lifetime trying to discourage you from following yours. So when we sit back and we try to understand the naysayers and all those folks, and when they say you can and can't do it, first of all, we have to understand that Einstein said if an idea has never been viewed as crazy, it's destined not to be successful. And then we have to understand that the statistics show that over 90% of America is unable to support themselves without family support or Social Security after the age of 65. That means over 9 out of 10 people, most of them are probably the ones who are the hardest critics of other people, didn't do it themselves. So we have to understand the stakes. That statistic also shows the stakes of what you all have on your hands to try to empower this country. Because we have to understand the fight is right where you're at right now, right here, today. This is what it's all about. And I said, man, I got to come out here and say something to these business owners because, again, our success is linked. I'm going to take you back to the early 1980s, where they had the Iranian Revolution. 1979, the energy crisis, where essentially a new regime in power in Iran exported oil at inconsistent intervals at a lower volume. Therefore, the price of oil skyrocketed. Tight monetary policy in the United States to control inflation led to another recession. And everybody, all the news, you couldn't turn on any channel and said, oh, the world is falling, the sky is doomed. But a few people in the early 1980s decided, you know what, the sky is not doomed. I'm gonna make Applebee's. I'm gonna make Fuddruckers. I'm gonna make Ben and Jerry's. In the 81, said, no, it's not doomed. I'm gonna make Buffalo Wild Wings. And IBM said, no, I'm gonna make the first personal computer. It's not doomed. It's not as bad as they seem. In 82, Olive Garden came up, and Dave and Buster's came up. Then 83, down there in Clearwater, Florida, they made the first Hooters. So we have to understand that the crisis, the symbol, the Chinese symbol for crisis means danger and opportunity. This is the time where you want to be a business owner. This is the time right here where you want to revel, because back in the early 90s, again, industrial production and manufacturing trade sales decreased. And everybody's going crazy. But Jamba Juice owners, no, we're going to make a company called Jamba Juice. Caribou Coffee, Zaxby's, Baja Fresh. 91, the 500th Tim Hortons was launched. 92, Starbucks and the Cheesecake Factory went public in the middle of a recession. How dare they decide that they can be successful in a time of crisis? What's wrong with them? They got to be crazy. Early 2000s, the collapse of the dot-com bubble, September 11th attacks, all these accounting scandals and things going on, and the Katrina crisis and the gas prices, you can't change any channel from 1 to 1 million, and everybody's saying how bad it is. Well, 2000, Bonefish Grill didn't think it was that bad. Cheeseburger in Paradise, they didn't think it was that bad. They opened up their 1,000th store in 2000. 2001, the first Apple store came to fruition. And they said, this is destined for failure. They're opening up an Apple store in the middle of a recession. But by 2008, it was deemed to be recession-proof. We've got to understand all the things that have come out. And I can go on. HP, GE, Sports Illustrated, Trader Joe's, MTV, CNN, LexisNexis, Microsoft, IHOP, Hyatt, Burger King, Jim Henson's Muppets. All these things were spawned, the majority of the S&P 500 were spawned from recessions. This is the time where you want to be that bullfighter in the game. But we have to make sure that our mindset is right, that we're not buying into all this fear that's trying to be pumped into every other station. We don't buy into that. We don't buy into fear. We buy into faith and hope. Understanding that, I remember one time when I first got a chance to be on CNN. And I was riding a train, and a friend of mine, and back in 2006, I was riding the train, and Alicia Stewart came up to me. She said, Ryan, I've been watching your emails for the past 3 years. And I've seen you do a lot of work in the community, and you do a lot of teaching and financial literacy and everything. And, just about a week before that, I said, I would love to be on television. I would love to be on television. So the next week she came, she said, Ryan, you know a little bit about financial literacy, don't you? I said, yeah, I know a little bit. I just got a job on CNN. You mind coming down to the studio? Maybe I can give the producer a call. I said, yeah, sure. Next Tuesday, I was on CNN. At that point in time, I realized that, you know what? Life just doesn't happen. Life is created. We create our lives. We create our destinies. I remember one time when I was first starting out my business, and my own pastor at my church, my ex-church, I wanted to sit down with him. I said, Pastor, I would just love if I could and I went in 3 times. I said, I don't even need any advice. I just want you to just pray over my company. Just give me just words of encouragement. He never had the time for me. I was a little discouraged at that point. I started to go out and I wanted to build a network. I said, I got this great plan. I made a 30-page proposal with all these things of what we can do to empower community churches. And I set a meeting up with a pastor way out in East New York and had all these meetings. And I went way out in East New York, and it was by a place where it had no trains or no buses, so I had to walk about a 3/4 of a mile in the hot sun on a summer day. And I went all the way out there and I said, Pastor, it's Tuesday, it's 2 o'clock, I'm here, and he's closing up shop. I said, where are you going? I forgot we had a meeting today. So he drove off in his brand new Caddy and he let me walk back to the train by myself. I said, this don't beat all. I remember when I went and I organized a whole group of church leadership. Because I said, I want to sit down with you all, and I got this plan, I got this idea. I want to sit down, and so I went, sat down, and there was about 50 pastors all in the room. And I sat down and I laid out the PowerPoint, and everything was all elaborate. And I sat down and I laid this presentation. It was filled up and it was powerful. It was just, it was smoking. And the pastor came to me at the end of the thing and said, boy, you can speak so well. You do such a great job. I said, so great. So when can we get started? He said, man, I would love for you to come by my church and talk to my youth. I said, so what about the business? Oh, we can talk about it. I don't know about business, but why don't you come talk to my youth? So I realized, well, wait a minute. Then my brother had to check me one time. I was talking to him and said, Ryan, I got to let you understand something, man. You're getting all discouraged, thinking that your problems somehow are bigger than you are. If you build it, they will come to you. You don't have to seek them out. You don't have to try to go beat the path. Build it, they will come. I remember when those times when I left Wall Street and I sat down, and 12 months I said, I got this vision and I want to be a financial advisor. And the one company that I interviewed with, or the first one, I was so excited. They gave me an offer and I said, I'm going to take your company all over this community. And he looked me in my eyes and said, Ryan, unless you only work with high net worth individuals, everybody else is a waste of time. My mother raised me off subsidized living. You mean to tell me if my own mother walked in this door right now, I couldn't service her? Well, guess what? You a waste of time. I didn't say that. It was one of those times you wish you would have said it. But I was a little bit more, I said, sir, I said, I need a little bit more time to think. And that's when I understood. I said, I'm not smaller than my problems, I'm bigger than my problems. I don't have to focus on the obstacles, I got to focus on the opportunities. And the next 12 months I had enough savings just to barely get by. And then when they cut my lights off and I didn't have enough to pay my light bill and I had to buy some candles, they turned my heat off. I went out and bought some blankets and said, it must have meant to be cold this year. I'll just get some extra clothes, that's all right. Because I got to keep on pushing. I got something inside of me that's bigger than all these problems coming my way. And then Optimum was born, and I got my first $300 check from Michelle Kulikowski, and I never looked back since. That's what the business owner is all about. It's not about the stimulus package or what the government can or can't do for you. The real business owner could give a doggone about how much money they're going to get from the stimulus package. Don't give me $1. That means I'm still going to be successful. I'm not going to say no to the money. I'm not going to turn it down. And I might go ahead and hire a couple of consultants to make sure that they can figure out how I can get it. But if I don't get it, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop. And it cracks me up all the time when people say that higher taxes are going to slow the economy. Hold on. You mean to tell me if I got to pay higher taxes, I'm not going to work as hard? Because the real business owner doesn't work for the money. They work for the passion. That's what it's all about. So we got to understand, the business owner plays not to lose. They don't play not to lose, they play to win the game. And I'm glad I'm here with all of you guys and gals. I'm glad I'm with a group of folks who understand it's not about getting paid on time, it's about getting paid on results. I'm glad I'm here today with a group of people they don't care about their income, they care about their net worth. I'm glad I'm with a group of folks who understands the power of giving, because that's what the business is. It's giving and using your ability to give and fulfilling your passion through enterprise and getting paid from it. It's a beautiful thing when it happens. You intersect your passion in life with your needs of society, and all you get happiness for the rest of your time on this earth. The question is, do you want to start your business or grow it? Or are you going to make a commitment to doing that? Because everybody wants to grow their business. It's not a person in this room that doesn't want to grow a company. But are you willing to make a commitment to growing your company? To make a commitment to growing your organization? The commitment is shown in your actions, the fly on the wall in your offices. If they gave a report to me of you, will it be a report to say that this person is walking towards his company? Because that's what it's all about. It's not about what the bravado and what people see in public. It's what you do in private. That work you do when you're building your business on your own when nobody else can see you. When you're walking and doing all those walking and got to do all the printing all by yourself. Figuring out a way just to make it work. It doesn't matter what obstacles come your way. We got to just make it work, period. Printer shuts down, make it work. Didn't get the contract, make it work. Just got laid off from a job that was paying my supplemental income to get my company off the ground. Make it work. No matter what you do, make it work. There's a couple of walking steps I just want to go over with you all and to figure out, are you really walking? Do you have something very simple, a simple budget? Have you written down, can someone produce, if someone asks you, can you produce exactly what you spend in your personal life as well as your business life? Can you look down and understand, especially in this time of recession, that cash is king? And doing all those things to make sure you're highly liquid to get through these hard times in this recession. And I know it's hard for a lot of folks. We got to keep on moving. Do you understand? Do you carefully examine every purchase that requires additional debt before you do it? And say, does this entity or this item, does it pay for itself? And if it doesn't, maybe I better hold off on it for a little bit. Do you doing all those things that are necessary to improve your own credit? Understanding that 35% of your own FICO score is paying your bills on time. Understanding that 30% of your FICO score is making sure that you're balanced to your total line of credit. Your credit history. Doing those things that are necessary to build your personal credit. Have you structured your company? For those new business owners out there, have you structured your company? Do you have an EIN number? Have you opened up a separate account? Have you listed your business address? Have you obtained required permits and licenses and registrations, all those things that are necessary to run a company? Are you established or registered with Dun & Bradstreet? Have you applied for business credit? Have you applied to companies that have no personal guarantee, like a Staples or an Office Depot, or all those companies that don't require you to give a personal guarantee so you can help establish your own business credit? Have you planned for your estate and succession? Your key person insurance, is it in place? Do you have a will in case you pass away, your company can live on? Because I'm going to tell you right now, your company is larger than you. It's larger than you. We need you to be successful not only for today, but far after you're gone. If your company dies with you, it's not a success. And we've got to plan for it. All the members of your team cover it with the right insurance. What type of insurance do you have? Do you need that whole life instead of opting for a cheaper term life because you're paying a little bit too much money, need a little bit more capital? Have you reviewed your fire and hazard insurance? These are just all basic questions. Have you examined your debt structure? Can you increase your long-term debt to pay down your short-term debt? Can you increase your cash flow by spreading out your short-term debt over a longer period of time? All these questions are things that we need to be asking ourselves on a consistent basis. I always tell folks, prepare yourself for a bank review, even if you're not going to have a bank review. Ryan, I'm not trying to go to the bank. I don't need any additional loans now. I just got a working capital loan last week of about $2-3 million. I don't need any additional loans now. I'm fine. That's not, no. Prepare yourself, prepare your financial statements frequently, as if you are going into the office to get familiar with your financials. Looking at your balance sheets, your inventories, your cash flows. Always have them ready to review at a drop of a dime. Looking at your marketing strategy. I tell folks all the time, now is the time to become a teacher. Every business owner should be a teacher of their craft in some form or another. In some form or another. Hiring interns and teaching them about how to run your business. Going in the community and teaching other individuals in schools, maybe on the weekend. And that's what I did. I started an organization called All About Business. I said, I just want to be just financial advisor, so I went to a high school. And I started to teach other kids about financial literacy. And they started to teach other adults about financial literacy. And they started to teach me about financial literacy. Next thing you know, they're on CNN and they're on Black Enterprise and they're going off because we're creating legacies within your business. This is what the community is all about. It's bigger than just your business. It's about how we can make the entire system work. Have you invested in additional training and learning? Have you looked about different certifications that you might be able to acquire? Have you formed successful partnerships? Times like this, I see so many times where people use greed to network as opposed to benevolence. It's not about what I can get from you, it's about what I can give to you. We have to be viewed by our community members as a resource, not a leech. Because leeches, all they do is get on your skin and suck your blood dry. But if you're benevolent and you give, then people want to hang around you then. And all of a sudden they want to be around you. They will say, wow, you know what, this woman is always so giving. And that's what people are drawn to that. Networking and socializing. What about your website? Sometimes, I just had to go through a website rehaul myself. My fiance had to sit me down and, I did the Yahoo, a free Yahoo website. And she looked at it, she does digital marketing. She said, Ryan, what are you doing? I said, it's only $12 a month. I just made my website myself. It's good enough for me. You can read it. You get on there and you can read all my services and everything goes well. It's fine to me. She said, no, this is how people perceive you. When they go on your website, this is what people are looking at representing you. On par, whether it's your business card, whether it's materials, it's a recession, it's low times. So just take a little bit of time to update your website, update some company materials, do a couple of networking functions, additional ones that you might not have done before. You might not be that busy, but again, the business owner, the successful business owner knows how to create opportunity. They don't wait for it to come to them. It's not about waiting on your ship to come in, it's about swimming out to it. We have to understand this. And it is so imperative that we get this because there's so many people relying upon all of us to make sure that the next generation has it easier. They got a thing out, Barack is doing a job summit. He may be successful, he may not be successful. We can't wait on him. I'm not waiting on him. I'm a fan. I'm a supporter, but I'm not waiting on him. It's not about him that's going to rely upon my success. I don't care what the elections turn out with 2010. I'm still not going to stop working. People get so, my person didn't win, my person lost the election. Well, all right, make it work. Do something. Get active. We have to understand that, and in closing, that the level of faith that we have is imperative to our success. It is imperative we have to our success. Faith is comprised of two components. The first component is believing that your success will occur. The second component is acting on that belief. Because people act according to what they believe is going to happen in life. Your thoughts determine your words determine your actions determine your habits determine your character, and your character determines your destiny. Where you will go in life, you want to change it, change the way you think. What a man thinks he becomes. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Gandhi said it, the Bible said it, I'm sure a lot of other folks have said it.